Hello everybody, thank you all for joining. It is, what day is it today? Wednesday. And literally there's so much happening. We had to interrupt our scheduled programming because things are changing very quickly out there. So thank you all for coming. You will see a lot of new stuff here today, some new exhibits, some new data. We're also going to look at some history. What is a Santa rally? But it's definitely come to crypto. Crypto is insane today. Not just Bitcoin, but proxies, miners, altcoins, absolutely huge returns on top of already huge returns. You've got things that have gone up 3,000%. Add another 30% today. It's just mind-blowing. Anyway, hope you can all hear me okay. And let's jump in. Things are changing very, very fast in this space. And anything I say here is not financial advice, just edutainment. And the story today, we'll talk about the crypto market cap is back to 1.64 trillion. Volume about 65 billion. I think Bitcoin's at 43.7. Looking at it now live. Dominance, who cares? We just care about Sol dominance here. Anyway, and Ethereum, 2200 got back above 2200 last night. But it's frustrating a lot of people. We'll talk a bit about that too. And Fear and Greed at 74, up 1 point from yesterday. Not bad. And what Santa wants, this is not what Santa wants, but this is apparently a very funny meme that was shared today in the community. I thought it was funny. He wants tacos and shots of tequila. So maybe that's true. Not milk and cookies. Anyhow, let's talk about what triggers a Santa rally, because it hasn't quite hit equities yet unless they are proxies of crypto. But typically, it does happen, a Santa rally does happen because of investor optimism into the new year. Holiday season can lead to also increased optimism and buying sentiment, which drives up prices. Sometimes volumes are very thin. There can be tax loss harvesting as well, where people kill the crappy assets and buy good ones, which is swapping out. Also window dressing. That's where institutional investors dress up their portfolios by buying stocks that have performed really well during the year. Things like Nvidia and stuff like that. They will add to their portfolio. Also, the market is forward looking and there's two big things coming. One is increased money printing and the other one is rate cuts. So they are all the exciting things. In addition, a little bit about the Santa rally as well. I kind of cover this every year, but historically, S&P 500, Dow Jones, etc., Nasdaq, they go up 80% of the time for the next 7 to 10 trading days. All right, and the average returns about 1.3% for the S&P 500, 1.4% for the Dow, and 1.8% for the Nasdaq. And typically, 7 to 10 trading days. So we're in that window, or about to be in that window real shortly, which is exciting. But some stuff is already exploding. Let's talk about Bitcoin first, then we talk about the altcoins, then we talk about some stocks and some miners and some proxies, and then we'll talk about a tiny bit of macro, and then it'll be a wrap. So first of all, huge news, introducing Bitcoin on Phantom. You can now buy, sell, trade, transfer, and hodl Bitcoin, ordinals, BRC20 tokens, etc., in the best multi-chain wallet on the market. Once you go Phantom, you never go back. I've been using it for years. It's incredible, and it gets more powerful every day. And of course, it's built on the Solana ecosystem. But it's mind-blowing now what you can do, especially with the integration of that between other assets as well. Stunning development. Shout out to the Phantom team. In addition, Bitcoin ETF news. This is from Jason Williams, who knows his stuff. SEC again met with BlackRock yesterday about the ETF filing, and he says this thing is a done deal. It's done. That was apparently the final meeting with BlackRock. They are ready to go. Send it. Boom. It'll be an exciting time. Now, if we look at other stuff too, yesterday there was a Bitwise commercial, or the day before, I think it was yesterday, the first ever Bitcoin spot ETF fund commercial. But now Hashdex, which is in trouble with the SEC, came out with their commercial as well. Your Bitcoin investment deserves crypto-focused firm from Hashdex. So again, this is incredible. And I mentioned this months ago that all of the ad space in 2024, the first quarter, was bought up for this exact purpose, to advertise the heck out of the spot ETF. Bitcoin never had a marketing department, never had a CEO or anything like that. Now all of a sudden you got all these big money runners are going to be advertising the hell out of Bitcoin. It's incredible. absolutely incredible. But we're in early, so we are just happy, ready to sit back and relax. Now, there's big bets on the spot ETF approval as well. Will the spot ETF be approved by January 10th? And about 1,667 people said yes, 650 no. But again, a lot of people are voting on the big ones. Invesco, Bitwise, Grayscale has got a small count. Global X, which is Hashdex, 21 shares, etc. So a lot of votes, a lot of people are betting big, and that's just a scattering of the 12 filings that are out there, and probably more to follow. It's going to be an incredible 2024. In addition, people like Michael Saylor are now up over $2.5 billion on their Bitcoin investment. When they were ridiculed and mocked and everything else, yeah, sometimes timing cannot be perfect, and yes, bear markets hurt, but that's a great time to stack. And guess who's having the last laugh? Michael Saylor, front-running Wall Street with his big bag. And now all of these funds have to chase and fill their bags too. So, interesting time ahead. In addition, another piece of news that I shared on Patreon this morning, went into some detail, but this is important. It was a study which I'll dig more into if anybody's interested. You know, the historic relationship between Bitcoin performance and Bitcoin miner performance. We've seen a lot of volatility in the Bitcoin miners this year so far. But the question is, can miners 6x the Bitcoin performance? So that means if Bitcoin is to 2x, the miners will 12x. Is that possible? Who wants a video on that and what that means for some of the miners out there? And I need to brush up my miner model with some updated data like debt, hash, Bitcoin hodl, production, efficiencies, etc. But it's crazy how far they are coming and how quickly they are growing as well. So it really is a moving target. If anybody's interested, let me know. Like when I started doing mining videos 2 years ago, nobody watched them. Now there's a lot more interest because the alpha is insane. Look at these. These are the miners on fire today. You can see here some of them, like Mawson, up 32%. Sphere Digital, 29.74%. DMG, 28.57%. They're all up 30%, these top three, but they're all very, very small cap miners. Then you have other names, of course, Core Scientific, which is kind of bankrupt, still under $1, but they're coming out of that apparently, but still listed with a Q, which is not good. Anyway, I don't track that company so much, but I do look at some of the others. So very interesting developments on the miners out there. In addition, let's look at the calendar. A lot of fun stuff is going to happen in 2024. First of all, many believe the spot ETF approval is a maximum of 21 days away. That's 3 weeks, and during this Christmas period, that'll go very, very fast. Also, Fed rate cut, the first one is no more than 90 days away. That's in the books. It's coming, and they have to do it because nobody talks about how much debt the US has and how much it's killing them and how much it's exploding deficits. Anyway, enough of that. And Bitcoin halving is now 118 days away. Woohoo! And liquidity is pumping. What a perfect storm of goodness for us sitting there with our bags nicely packed during the bear. So well done, everybody. Now, the story that's really taking Twitterverse by storm, thank you, The Great Escape, is Solana is killing it. It just surpassed XRP in total crypto market cap. It's now the 5th biggest play. Next one in the box is Binance, and that'll make it the 4th biggest play. But this change is happening so fast, it's alarming. And is it hype, or are there fundamentals behind it? So I went and did a special study on some fundamentals and look at some things. I've been covering it quite a lot lately, between all the flippings of DEX volume and NFTs and etc. But what else is going on? First of all, this is the market caps of where Solana flipped XRP. And look at the fully diluted market cap for XRP. They aren't even done issuing tokens yet. Okay, 62 billion. Anyway, enough of that. But you can see Binance is only a mere, well, I can't remember the exact number. I don't have it listed in this particular screenshot, but I think it's about 4 billion away before it hits Binance market cap. And we'll see. And Binance has been pretty strong as well today too, so it's running ahead. In addition, what would it take for Solana to hit the Binance market cap? It means it needs to go to $92.86. So it is a little bit under Binance right now, but again, it's probably going to smash it. And that's what's happening. Now, there's also a lot of talk. A lot of ETH maxis are losing their minds and they're very upset because activity. I always say, follow the developers, follow the adoption, follow the money. That's what you need to do. And the soaring activity leaves Ethereum in the dust, per a report on News BTC today. We're going to dig into that in a minute or two just to show you all the different metrics. And there's also multiple reports of Vitalik selling. This is from Autism Capital. Very, very funny follow on Twitter, by the way. But Solana's absolutely ripping. The Sol Bros deserve a dance on graves right now. We don't do that here. ETH Bitcoin ratio is absolutely humiliated. Vitalik keeps selling ETH, and the Ethereum community rocking back and forth in the mental asylum saying layer 2, layer 2, layer 2. And I always said layer 2s are not the answer. It's a band-aid on a problem. There needs to be a more fundamental fix than layer 2s. Always my thesis. Always stick to the Occam's razor. The simplest solution wins. Thank you so much. Iron over there in Europe. Now, 36 hours ago, to the minute, I did say that I had a feeling this Solana is going to smash $80. And what did I say? Another run. I can't remember. It was supposed to be by the end of the week. And we're now gunning for a lot more than that. Solana smashed 80, hit about 82.50 today. And Bitcoin's been a little bit over the place, still up 3%, but the Solana action is massive. And the question is, what's driving it? In fact, I was chatting with Sanjay earlier and he said, why? Why is it happening? So I put some exhibits together. The first one, though, is the Sol upside model, which is very quickly becoming redundant. When I put this together years ago, people thought I was nuts. 6% of ETH market cap of Cardano, 10% of ETH, 20% of ETH. Now, 20% of ETH is only $120 right now. And we're quickly getting up there. The reach is no longer that far. So the question is, what do we do next? And I'll be working with the development team this afternoon. We're going to build a new one of these for you all. It's going to be called IA Sol Upside 2. So make sure, keep an eye out for it. I'll tweet it and share it. But it's free for you all to keep a feel for exactly where things are. It can actually also be used for pair trading because nothing goes up in a straight line. Things always have these little jaggedy spots. So you can actually use it to trade between Sol and ETH if you want. But make sure 80% of the time you're trading on the winning asset. But I'm also going to fine-tune the percentages, how high we go. But it'll be something of the order of 30% of ETH, 50% of ETH, 70% of ETH, or maybe 33% of ETH. We'll see where it all comes in. But suggestions below if you've got ideas. I know thousands of you use this model. And don't forget as well, if you want to get smarter, this is the place to do it. I don't waste your time, but I do share a lot of information in every video. You're guaranteed to learn lots. So if you want to learn, this is the place to subscribe. Now, more flipping. We flipped DEXs and NFTs, but now stablecoin transfer. Solana now takes the lead in daily stablecoin transfer volume. Out of nowhere. Let's look at the detailed chart of this. It was nothing a few weeks ago. Literally nothing. And now it has just spiked to high heaven. Nearly $18 billion in stablecoin transfers every single day. And the growth underscores the activity and liquidity in the layer 1 blockchain ecosystem over the past couple of weeks. Now, Circle is a big part of this too. I covered this yesterday. They are the issue of the second largest stablecoin called USDC, and they now have a EURC, which is a stablecoin from Circle built on Solana, and it's pegged 1-to-1 with the euro. And now people who have to send money all over the world, send euros, send dollars, are using this. And that's reflected here because it's fast and inexpensive. Goodbye, Western Union. Goodbye, all the people that take 30% of your check and keep it for themselves. Now you can do it for free. Thank you so much, Mr. Mike. I see you out there. Now, I did share this a couple of weeks ago. It got a lot of attention. Sharing an update today. How much money is flowing from where to where between chains on a daily basis? Right, this is per December 20th, 2023. And you can see the blue on the left is Ethereum. Big block on the left, and the small pink on the left is Solana. Arbitrum is number 3 on this list. Binance is number 4. But watch what happens. You go from the from on the left to the to on the right. The pink, which is Solana, is nearly twice the size of the Ethereum, and the Ethereum is shrinking by more than 55% per day in transfer volume. Money is being drained. I can't explain the significance of this. It's leaving fast. And Sanjay asked, why is Solana going up? And I said, because people are ditching their ETH and they're getting off of the chain altogether and then moving to Solana. And that's the only explanation that I have right now. And it's crazy. But let's look at some more data too. These are the cumulative traders, part of my black hole sun thesis. And here we are. How can you possibly look at this chart and still fade Solana? The activity is off the charts. The purple is, of course, Solana. And then you have other colors there. We saw ETH, which is the bottom, kind of light blue. And etc., etc. You zoom in to find the rest. I think red is Optimism, Arbitrum, or the purple is Avalanche. Arbitrum is that brownie color. And that's all you need to know. Follow the money, follow the adoption. Real simple. Follow the developers. Nothing has changed, and that's what you need to do. Let's look at some other comparisons. And this is a stark contrast of the activity across multiple metrics between Sol and Ethereum. So at the very top left corner, you've got the trades per day. All right. Look how the blue is shrinking. It's half of what it was yesterday. That's insane. All right. And the pink is dominating. You look at the trades per day going up and to the right. That's the top right hand box. The users per day, again, dwindling on Ethereum, moving to Solana. And then the new users per day, again, dwindling on Ethereum, moving to Solana. So it's become very clear that the consensus trade of this bull run is Solana. They are dominating everything very fast. And that's how we placed our bets. But there's more. Let's talk about some more of the news out there. This is interesting. This is Sui, and one of the largest lending protocols expands to Sui for the first time. It's funny, they talk about one of the largest lending protocols, but it's actually Solend moved as well to Sui. Solend was built on Solana. Think Aave, think borrowing, lending, and it's really getting adoption now as well. But they moved over to Sui. And let me see. I think, well, Sui was created by the Facebook team, I reckon. And this new integration also marks the first deployment on a blockchain other than Solana for Solend and underscores the team's confidence in the strength, maybe, of Sui's technology and the Sui network. I'm not sure. I don't see the adoption numbers at all for Sui, but again, the whole world will be multi-chain in the future. The question is, can you jump in and grab what you need from that chain in a frictionless manner? And that's all happening not only here, but like we discussed at the beginning with this one, Phantom Wallet. Do everything, swap it real time between all the different chains. That's where the world is going. The question is, what will handle all of the activity? And the answer is, we know the answer. Let's look at the Solend chart as well. This was a bumpy one. I remember as an experiment, I tried to buy the Solend IDO way back when. I put 3,000 into it. It made money for a few days and then it just drained all. And it was like too late getting into the bear market. And then I got rid of it at the end of last year. But the point is, it has rebounded very well. And it's basically halfway back to all-time high. And I do believe it could easily hit $7 this bull run. In full disclosure, I don't own any Solend. But I am building a portfolio of Sol alts, as I call them, and they are fun to play with indeed. In addition, other news, Solana and Avalanche are pumping. This is on CoinDesk. Talk about the reason for the pumping is meme coin fever, and the title's a little wrong because it's way more than meme coin fever. And you could argue, you know, there are stuff about bonks and activities with cats and things like that, but a lot of it is actually a lot of the activity and DeFi that's happening across these chains as well. The other one to look at is Injective. Again, I mentioned it's up like 30% today. This is a sick chart to look at. Injective is up now nearly 3,000% for the last year or so and added another 30% today. It's incredible. But when you look at the actual adoption and numbers here, it is being adopted. But the numbers aren't exactly huge. It's only 7,000 transactions a day, which is not that much. But again, It doesn't take much to move these small caps, which are very quickly becoming big caps. In fact, this is about to surpass some of your favorite L1s and L2s real fast too. And that's just why it's important to look at adoption. What are people actually using? It has a huge impact on the world. Other stuff as well. This one was another bonkers thing. I tweeted this. I talked about it in the community a couple of weeks ago. A lot of people made a ton of money on it. It was insane, but my joke here on Twitter was, who says you cannot make life-changing money in stocks? OSOL, which is the Osprey Solana ETF, or ETP, or Trust. It's a trust. It's like GBTC or ETH or one of those things, or GSOL. But we spotted it at a very low discount of about 11%. And guess what? It's up 900% in 90 days. That is completely bonkers. And it's far outperforming the performance of Solana, which is also up a huge amount in 90 days. But again, the fact that so much is happening so fast is almost alarming. And I didn't expect all of this activity to happen so quickly, especially in late 2023. But it's been amazing. So perhaps it's part of the Santi rally too. And this is the OSOL Melt Up. Absolutely incredible. Right now it's about $109 as I look at it. And you could have bought that for $40 2 weeks ago. Madness. So 3x in a very short window of time. In other news too, regarding Twitter and X and payments and disruption, the reason we mention this is because we're all about disruption of DeFi and TradFi. No, not DeFi, disruption of TradFi. But payments are coming to X, which is the former Twitter, and they now have already 13 licenses to operate in 13 states in the US, and they are getting into being a payments platform, which is going to launch next year. And there'll be so much more you can do. Just like the Phantom Wallet, you'll soon be able to do everything on X, and that'll become your kind of maybe your bank, your access to trading, swapping, playing with crypto, paying people, receiving payments. It's going to be incredible. If I was a traditional bank right now with thousands of branches, I would be very worried. No wonder this guy is terrifying everybody, whether you are in telco with Starlink or you're a union and you're worried about your workers, and he's building robots and traditional ice makers, toast. I mean, he's just disrupting everything, and it's quite an incredible time to be alive, to be able to watch all this and position yourself for all of this change. That's the most important thing too. Another good news too, US liquidity is from Joe Consorti. US liquidity is rising. We've been watching the liquidity for months now, and it is even rising in the US, and it's rising fast. $250 billion was added in the last couple of weeks globally to liquidity, and liquidity floats all boats. Woohoo! Now I'm going to get a little bit political for a second. There is a person who is trying to ban crypto. They don't want you having your hands on it, especially when you can make, I don't know, what's that? Let me see, 900% in 90 days. That's not good for you, everybody. But she wants to not allow you to make this type of crazy money. They want to protect the banks. She or them or whoever they are got money from the American Bankers Association. All right. And I actually, long story, but I actually know a lot about the American Bankers Association, and I've been to many of them. But for them to nearly ask the senators to ban crypto to protect their banks is what we're talking about here. This guy is trying to disrupt the banks, and she is trying to kill crypto so you can't make this. I hope I explained that simply enough. Now, there is something you can do, and I'll have a link below for this. There is a place to sign up and shout out to the community that urged me to say this today. So this is for you. But if you go to change.org and you go to stop the crypto ban, you can get there and you just sign the petition. And what's really important about this, and here's a QR code for it too. You can scan that. I'll blow it up so you can scan it. It'll take you right to the website. That nearly looks like a crypto banter C in the middle, but it's not. It's not at all. But it's a legitimate QR code that takes you to the side. But what's important is when you look at this, the people behind the Stopping Crypto bill, this is the big message here. You'd think in the past, there used to be a party called the Democratic Party that wanted to help the poor, help people get out of the holes, etc. And it was the Republicans who were the ones that were kind of feeding the fat cats and taking care of the rich and cutting taxes for the rich and stuff like that. It's all upside down now. if you look at this, these are the 20 individuals signed on. 17 are Democrats. Elizabeth Warren, Joe Manchin, Dick Durbin, Robert Casey, all these people. Remember these names. If they are in your state, for those here in America, do not vote for them. You know, do not vote for them. They do not have your interest at heart. They have the grift at heart. That's how people like this can make $70 million. Okay? I wonder how much the American Bankers Association paid her. This is what we need to stop. Get corruption out of government. Anyway, off my soapbox. Another crazy news. I thought this was a good piece of alliteration. Putin is putting prices up. Obviously, a lot of stuff going on in Russia, etc. But they are not out of inflation. Inflation in Russia is going through the roof, so that's going to be hard for the people in Russia. Anyway, with that, everybody, thank you all for coming. Don't forget to hit this QR code, go to the website, sign the petition. Make sure that these people get voted out of office. They are not on your side. And I'm not a political person, but the team asked me to do that in Patreon. So that's for you guys. So I hope that helped. Thank you, everybody. The quicker you learn government officials are not on your side, the better off you'll be. And hopefully, in all the countries around the world, we can replace the corrupt individuals that are trying to control you with proper, honest human beings. And with a little IQ as well would be nice. Added bonus. My new thing is under 80 with an IQ above 80 would just be awesome. Anyway, thank you all. See you all tomorrow. Thank you to the mods in the chat and everybody else out there. Have a great day. And let me check on the market first. Bitcoin did take a little bit of a dip, but still, the crypto list is insane. Absolutely insane what's going on today. Anyhow, enjoy the ride. See you all tomorrow. Bye-bye.